Here we go. Karl Wolf back in the virtual building. Super excited to be talking to you once again. First and foremost, how are you, man? How have things been?
I'm doing so good. It's really tough. I'm out here in Toronto, Canada. Lockdowns are crazy. It's been a year and a half. So families in Montreal, it's been a bit of a shit show. I don't know if we're live, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, but we're hanging in there. I got my album just came out last night. We're already at 1.26 million streams. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Now, we got to talk at the beginning of the pandemic. City of Lies had just dropped. That's one of the songs on 2 a.m. Vibes.
Right.
And how does it feel to have that initial vision with that one song and now this whole album, which is really one of those front to back sort of albums? You can get through that thing. I'm listening to track one, and then like 3 minutes later, I'm like, damn, I'm on track nine. Like it really all comes
Mhm.
together and flows so well. So
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about completing, finally being at that finish line, having just one single out when we last talked.
Right. You know what? Things have changed so much since a year and a half. I mean, I started my TikTok about 6 months ago and it sort of blew up. I mean, it was, how TikTok is, the algorithm kicks in,
Yeah,
depends what your niche is. And if something's working, then everybody just flows to you. And that's what's happening. What I did was I started off, I'm like, man, I've always been producing my own music, my own songs in the past, but the curtain's been revealed. I'm like, let me show people how I do it since I'm stuck here anyways. And I started
right.
producing like a song or two, and then it just took off, and people loved that. So pretty much the whole album was done with the feedback of my TikTok followers.
That's huge. Just to be able to, would you say that it was a different approach to the album now that you're, this seems more interactive. You
Right.
can feel it, it's just got such a visceral kind of feel good vibe to it.
I
What was
appreciate you
that like
saying
as
that.
opposed to, yeah?
Yeah, I
What
appreciate you
what
saying
was it
that.
like?
Sorry, go ahead. Delays.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. Uh, what was this album like prior to that? With that, prior to past albums, with that feedback, kind
Right.
of there for you.
I think, there's two things that changed with this. One, you know, there is that feedback, the direct feedback. So whenever I'm producing something, at least I know that I'm not guessing, because it's hard as the executive producer as well, who puts the money in for marketing and promo and all that. Sometimes we commit to a record that we're not even completely sure. I mean, we love, the management, myself, but it
Right.
doesn't mean the public will take to it. Maybe something in the sound is not with the trends or whatever the case may be. But this way, it's so perfect. I mean, it's almost like you're straight up test market in 2 seconds, and you kind of know, at least you've got something that people sort of like, and that's a good stepping stone. And then that's one. Two, it's amazing just creating music and being alone and not doing it with someone, like other musicians. And even though it stifles me a little bit, it put me in a position to learn a lot, and the learning curve was there. But I produced the whole record myself. I mixed, mastered it, and here we are. The whole album is pretty much my vibe.
And it shows so well. I remember that first interview we did. The second we brought you into the live, the energy was there. It was through the roof.
It was
You had the
crazy. We had a good
lights.
time on that live.
Yeah, yeah. We had
I
I think
remember
we
that.
did that at like noon. It felt like 2 a.m. You know
It's
what I'm
crazy.
saying? So
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
so I can tell that the production is all you, the EPing is you, the lyrics, everything, because it gives you like, okay, if you've never heard of Karl Wolf,
Right.
you listen to it when you're done with 2 a.m. vibes,
Yeah.
like we're in the studio with you.
Yeah.
Like it just
Right.
you can tell that like you're not pulling from other producers or like, oh, this beat was already made and I'm just gonna write to it. Everything was made together. It's so cohesive. So
Jay, that
I love it, man.
I appreciate you saying that, and that's so important that you touch on that because there's so many, there's trends out there, and a lot of artists are always pulling off other people, which is fine. I get it, I
Yeah.
do too. But at the end of the day, I wanted something that was a little disconnected from copying anyone, if you will, or just following
Yeah.
some trend. I basically, sometimes people use trends because they know that it connects, and there's another song out there that's doing well, so they kind of ride the coattails of that. What I
Right.
try to do is just create my own sound like I always love to do, but this time get that feedback from at least a real live audience, and see, at least I'm on point with that, because you could be lost in a sea of sound. Some people will be like, dude, you're totally off.
Right.
But this one, at least I still tested my market, and they kept me on track, if you will.
What would you say was the most humbling piece of advice you got from this constant feedback?
You know what? There was a lot of positive feedback.
Okay.
Even, I remember a lot of friends of mine telling me, dude, you barely have any negative. What's going on? Usually TikTok's like this hotbed of like negativity sometimes. It
Yeah.
could be, right? It's weird. Maybe music has that, because I'm focusing on I'm actually doing it, I'm producing live. There's something to it that's making people not hate so much. So there wasn't really any criticism really. But I think what I learned from it is, you know, my gut is generally right. I got a good feeling with music, but sometimes it could be off too, right? There's a song that I thought would blow up and then no one even cared, right? So,
Right.
but for me, I'd rather have this way than just kind of dream, like fall in love with a record and think that it's all hot and shit. And then you go out there and people are like, whatever. So this
Right.
way, kind of what I noticed is, for example, if it does well on TikTok, it does well on Spotify. So at least there's that correlation.
Got you. Okay. Dropping gems here for people who are
Yeah.
watching. He's Karl Wolf's got the code. What would you say is your favorite track on 2 a.m. Vibes?
Ooh, that's a tough one. But I currently like Before This Life Is Up. That's a good one because it's got the sax in it. It's such a
Yeah.
summery vibe. It's kind of Miami Vice type of record,
Yeah.
old school 80s pop vibe. Another one is Bloodline with me and Chrissy Spratt. She's
Yeah.
also a TikToker. She's got 1 million followers on TikTok. She's originally Middle Eastern, like myself. In fact, we just discovered that our dads used to know each other when they were kids in school
Oh,
in
wow.
Lebanon, in Beirut. Like, so it's just some
Wow.
crazy shit. Yeah. So that's that record. Maybe another one I can drop. Oh yeah, Fiji. Fiji's another big banger. I love Fiji.
Fiji, I like how you tucked Fiji at the end because it hits a high. Like the whole thing is high energy,
Right.
but then it lulls a little bit around that Chrissy Spratt song, and then
Right.
Fiji kind of pops back in with
Exactly.
with more energy.
Right.
And I gotta say, the from Lonely Nights to Getaway
Right.
into Before This Life Is Up, you're really taking us on this like spring, summer, just like
Yeah.
really, hey, let's get out of this pandemic together. It's kind of like how I felt.
That's exactly what it was supposed to be. You nailed it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad you listened to the record, man. A lot of people who I'm talking to, it's like they didn't take the time, and I appreciate you taking the time. It's important, man. That's what it is. It's music. There's nothing else. That's what I'm here for, right?
Of course. No, I mean, like that's the common thread between all of us at the end of the day. And
Absolutely.
like I'm saying, like you can feel the energy. I want to read a quote that you said about the new album 2 a.m. Vibes.
Right.
I believe that more than ever, we should appreciate the smaller things in life, especially as we've lost so much this past year. I really hope everyone can take some time to enjoy uplifting music this spring and summer. I first want to ask you, what are the smaller things to you? What is Karl Wolf hold near and dear?
Man, family, friendships,
Yeah.
connections, relationships, and what it's not always what I'm looking for, but what I'm not. What I used to do pre pandemic was like really show off and like cars and chains, and you know what I'm saying. And then I realized that all that is fun, but it's not really what's going to stay there and
Right.
what's really important. And I realized that through the pandemic, unfortunately. So there is a silver lining to the pandemic too.
Yeah, somebody had said to me, the pandemic has really shown us how or what it means to really lower our BPMs, and that's something that's stuck with me. So that's
Good point.
huge. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Family, connection, friends, all of that crucial things,
Yeah.
all across the board. And I just like that you said the uplifting music this spring and summer, because that's really what this album is. And I really want to encourage people to go check out 2 a.m. Vibes, because I think this is a great introduction. Like, what do we do post pandemic? Like, I know
Right.
we're going to be partying, we're going to be having a great time.
Right.
But you've created that soundtrack. Like you really, the work is there, the ethic is there, and it shows. So I've got nothing but praise for you for this new
I
album, man.
appreciate that, man.
Congrats.
Thank you, Jay. You know what? It's really important, especially right now, where people are still in certain places are locked down, and we're slowly trying to open up. Vaccines are starting to roll in, but a lot of people have had mental health issues. People have lost loved ones. It's been a tough time. And I think our job sometimes as musicians and people in the entertainment industry is to somehow, bring levity to it, to the situation. And because a lot of people committing suicides, man, because of, being locked down and not being able to go to the gym, and maybe school is rough, and or money, and all kinds of issues, which, luckily I'm not going through, because we've managed to pivot, and produce and whatever, but not everybody's as lucky. Small businesses are closing, restaurants are closing. It's really a sad state. So I think my job is to step in and make some positive music, not always just that, didn't mean it had to be, trendy. I'm not looking for a trendy album. I just wanted to make music to uplift people. So hopefully that worked.
No, it definitely did. You've honestly created that escape, and like I said, it's 100% authentic. You're getting, like I said, who is Karl Wolf? This is him in 2 a.m. vibes, and
I'm glad you see that, man.
Shows. Yeah, no,
Appreciate that.
I've got, like I said, nothing but praise. The album is incredible. Everybody go get it. Check it out. Put it on. There's something in there for everybody, but it's all feel good. It's all a great time. Karl Wolf, man, I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. Well, look, every time we get an interview going, you play some music. So do you have time?
I didn't even prepare, but you know what? You guys, can you play the record? Play Before This Life Is Up.
Yeah. We'll play. We'll put a little bit of the record.
Just because it just won't translate with the iPhone and all that,
Of course. Yeah. No. But hey, thank you again so much, man. You killed it with this one. Can't wait to see what you're doing next. And when this whole thing is over, we'll have to sit down, get a beer or something.
Dude, we said that last time.
yeah. I'm still waiting, man. I'm still waiting.
I know. I hear you.